Hey everybody, coming up on Sports Central, we have the latest in action from here in Polk County, a little bit of state news, and some exciting guests. Stick around for this edition of Sports Central. Welcome to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson. My co-host to my right, Hank Longo. And Hank, got a big weekend coming up here. Yeah. State Water Ski Championship for you. You ready?
Championship? Well, kinda. I dislocated my elbow Wednesday night in practice. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which one?
The right one.
Oh, that's the bad one.
I know. So we'll see. See if this wing can be mended by then. And
how'd you do that?
My best jump of the summer. It was fantastic. And I landed, and my handle went down in the water, and it yanked my elbow back. And of course, wearing that harness, it doesn't have anywhere to go. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I had to yank it back into place, and it was.
You got fixed. Well, everybody, we do have some special guests, and we have some folks to thank.
Yes, we do. The folks at the Hampton Inn in Winter Haven. Thank you very much. So. We're going to have a great show.
That's Desiree Chase and the gang over there. That's where Lance Armstrong stayed when he was competing in the Ironman. Yeah, nobody knew
hanging out there. Yeah. But anyhow, just a quick note: state championships in Mulberry at Ski Paradise this weekend. If you want to come watch Saturday and Sunday.
And actually, we have 7 events coming up this weekend. Unbelievable month of July for sporting events. We're going to get to that in a little while, but right now we have a very special guest, Peter Ormsby from the Weber International University. And Peter, you're actually the head track and field coach, but we can add one other thing to your resume. You're also the triathlon coach now for the, as far as we know, the first collegiate team in the state of Florida to have a triathlon team. Otherwise, it's more of a club sport, isn't it?
As far as I know, we're the only one that offers scholarships, tuition assistance for both graduate and undergraduate. Food, lodging, and entry fees are paid for. The club level, everybody pays for their own stuff. So, as far as I know, we're one.
So you guys are taking another step.
We're leading the way
in a positive direction. That's great stuff.
How did you get? I mean, how did you get into the triathlon? What encouragement or what sparked this to get it to the level to where the school actually accepted it to be part of the track and field program?
I actually kind of fell into it. I applied for a job out of state, and I told my AD or associate AD that I was putting in for this job, and the next thing I knew, they had added the triathlon team to keep me on campus for a little bit longer. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's straightforward.
It's straightforward.
Pretty cool, yeah. The triathlon's grown unbelievably in the last few years in popularity, not just as a participatory sport, but people are enjoying watching it. And we saw that at the Ironman, a month and a half ago, that is, with Lance Armstrong and so on. Have the students, as a follow-up to Hank's question, are the students kind of pushing that too? I mean, you see so many of these young kids, they're out there swimming, they're cycling, they're running, and it's just phenomenal, the growth, particularly at the collegiate high school level even. It's
brand new at the collegiate level. It's for those kids that maybe aren't fast enough or don't want to compete at the collegiate level in swimming or running, but they get drawn to triathlon. It's just something new.
Because they're good enough at swimming and running, but they're just not maybe as fast.
To get the scholarship to compete at that level, but triathlon they fall into and fall in love with it like I did back in college.
Okay, so you're actually a competitor yourself.
Former competitor, but I'm probably going to get drawn back in now coaching.
Yeah, interesting. At Weber, you had a long history of very successful sports programs, and there's an enormous amount of sports dating all the way back to Rex Yentis and what he did, and I know behind the scenes continuing to push college athletics and so on. Your athletes, great students, good students, average students, horrible students. Give us a little insight into the average triathlete and their academics, and is there any, like, are they all going into medicine? Are they going into business? What? Or
Well,
just abroad?
at Weber, we're a specialty business school, so all the athletes that come in are under the business umbrella. A lot of sport management majors that they want to go the behind the scenes at the sport level. So, but great students, and we just kind of mold them and make sure that they graduate and that they've got a job. And Weber's actually got the highest job placement in the state right now at 83%.
Really?
So beating all the state and private schools. That's something we can tip our hat to.
Oh, good stuff.
So when you talk about the sports management behind the scenes, what kind of opportunities are there for those students? I mean, because we've encountered them through tourism and sports marketing, but what kind of opportunities they have out there to get involved with what kind of sports teams?
I know a lot of our interns end up working for Polk County Sports Marketing, YMCA level or the gym fitness level. I've had some of my personal athletes work with the Flying Tigers up in Lakeland and do a season-long internship. It's really up to them how they want to tailor it. They learn everything that they need to do to run a business on the sports side, whether they want to be a GM for a baseball team or run a gym or even start their own gym. They know how to do it from the ground up.
Very interesting.
Yeah, well, I know it's a great sports program, but to jump back to the triathlon business for a second, a little bit different training regime than it is for, say basketball or wrestling, football, whatever it may be. At Weber, and as a coach now, how are you preparing your students, so they can, win the national championships or still whatever it may be? What are you doing to prepare these kids? Because you have 3 different sports disciplines, separate and distinct, yet you have to combine them into one at one time.
It's one of those things that they're doing a lot of stuff on their own already. So what I'm doing is I'm coordinating with them, a lot of communication, one-on-one, just to make sure that I'm not tweaking their system too much, but tailoring it to meet the rigors of school. They don't do all 3 sports every day. It may be do 2 workouts 3 times, 4 times a day, still in the weight room twice a week, still getting treatment, still getting the long runs, the long cycles in, but it's definitely maybe 11, 12 workouts a week, but not like 3 workouts 7 times a week, so they're working out 21 times. It's really maximizing the recovery and making sure they're getting everything they need in on a weekly basis.
The one thing I think is a benefit being out there in Babson Park is that, for being a cyclist, I think that's probably one of the hardest things is finding a place where you can ride without having to deal with a lot of traffic. And being out there in Babson Park, I'm sure they can get back out on some of those roads back there and not have the traffic to deal with that you would if you were, in a school in a more congested city type environment like in Lakeland or something. I think it'd be kind of hard just to get out and ride from Florida Southern and really get a good ride without having to deal with a lot of traffic.
Scenic 17 is a great route. You can go south of campus, go all the way down to Highlands County and go through the orange groves on the paved roads and with the lake right there in the backyard, so to speak. We don't really have to go anywhere. I mean, we got a pool too, so but it's a great atmosphere, great diamond in the rough type training atmosphere.
Nutrition for triathletes, different than it is for football team?
I always say, do as I say, not as I do. I'm probably the worst person to talk to about my nutrition based on my own personal experiences. A lot of carbs, a lot of protein to aid in the recovery process. But the triathletes, as much as they're doing, they can kind of eat what they want within reason.
They're burning it off pretty, kind of like being a swimmer, like Phelps eats whatever he wants.
Non-stop. Okay, on your shirt, I don't know if we can get an up close and personal on that one. The Ridge Scenic Highway Triathlon. Tell us about it.
We're in our 5th year. We kind of call it the green anniversary. Our finishers' mugs are green this year.
Okay.
Numbers this year, I think, are up about 20-30% from where they were at this point last year, and we still got 2 weeks. So online registration goes through, I think, 2 weeks from today.
Okay.
And then last year we had about 20-30 people register Saturday, Sunday for pre-race registration. So we're expecting about 150 or more.
Wow.
The youth event will probably double this year, which is a huge draw for us.
Youth is, or what ages?
We're classifying as 14 and under.
Okay.
So we'll break the 14 and under into 2 age groups. 11 or 10 and under, and then 11 to 14, and we'll go 3 deep for awards for them as well.
Okay, and both genders.
Yes.
Okay, so the girls aren't competing against the guys that break it down.
They'll race in the same wave, but
Right.
they'll split it out for award purposes.
How long a run, how long a bike, how long a swim?
Kids race is a 100-meter swim, 3-mile bike ride, and 800-meter run.
Oh, that's
And
not so
then
bad.
when you get into the masters and the other folks that are competing.
The adult race is a quarter-mile swim, 15-mile bike ride, and a 5K run.
Okay, well,
Still a workout.
yeah, when in the summertime it is.
Yeah.
What are the dates? Give us the dates.
July 29th is the race date.
Okay.
They can come on campus, register July 28th from 3 to 6, and then adult race goes off at 7, and then kids race will go off 30 minutes after the last adult finisher. So about 9:30 probably for the kids race.
People want to register in advance. Can they do it?
They can. They can go to scenic17triathlon.com.
Scenic 17, is it the number 17 or do you spell it out?
Number 17.
Okay, Scenic17
Triathlon.
Triathlon.com.
They can register online there. They can print out a registration, bring it with them Saturday or Sunday, and teams or individuals are welcome.
Is there a, do you have to be a member of USA Triathlon or any of that stuff, or is it just anybody that wants to participate?
Anybody that wants to participate, they do have to join USAT for at least 1 day, which I believe is a $10 or $12 registration fee this year. But if they're already members, then
it's okay.
They just have to show their proof of membership.
Oh, all right.
Very
Sounds
neat.
pretty good. The dates again?
July 28th and 29th.
28th and, are the actual race dates.
Right.
The youth the 1 day and the adult?
Everything's on Sunday the 29th.
Okay. Well,
So you can register on the 28th.
They can register and
Okay,
pick up their
okay,
packets. Yes.
I got it. Because I know some of the folks, Colonel Bell, lives along, some of those race routes, and people go out there with their garden hoses and hose down the athletes.
The athletes
Oh,
as they're
yeah.
running by? Very
Well,
cool.
it's summertime.
We have that's the one thing that everybody loves is along our run course is people will come out and they'll spray the garden hoses. So we get a lot of feedback that they love the community involvement with that regard.
Pretty cool.
Good.
Yeah, cool everybody down and all of that type of stuff. Peter, unbelievable. This is great. We're looking forward to a new team here in Polk County, and of course right there at Weber College, International University, excuse me. But a long history as a business school, and it's a great place. You want to mix up business, athletics, it couldn't be any better. So,
We love it.
absolutely. Well, congratulations. Best of luck to your race on the 28th and 29th, competition on the 29th, and you go to scenic17triathlon.com for more information. So thanks again for joining us. We
Thanks for
greatly
having me.
appreciate it. Absolutely. Well, another event that actually took place a couple of weeks ago, and it was the Sunshine State Games. Polk County, the hub of activity in the state of Florida that weekend, more than 2,000 athletes. Unbelievable competition. We were fortunate, however, because all of the indoor sports were here in Polk County, and it was a rainy weekend, so we were blessed with that. Well, everybody, check this out. The Sunshine State Games 2012. We'll be back in just a minute.
I don't know if there's a more exciting day at the Lakeland Center than the Saturday of the Sunshine State Games like we have here today. We've got kids and adults from all over the state of Florida that are participating in a lot of action-packed sports. Right here in the Sykes Hall, we've got judo where the competitors are throwing each other around in their matches.
They've been training very hard. They're excited about their first tournament, and they're just anxious to go, but they're the older kids, so they got to wait a little bit, and they're chomping at the bit.
the hall, we've got fencing where they're going at it with swords. In the Jenkins Arena, we've got people lifting incredible amounts of weight.
For the clean and jerk, I did 90 kilos, which is a personal best for me. It was a new total for me, so I'm moving up in the ranks of weightlifting. I have been the top 8 in the nation in my weight class, and hopefully the 2016 Olympics are in my sights. So being a gymnast, I was really strong, had really great body awareness and conditioning, and it just was a really easy transition into weightlifting, and I caught on to the movements really fast and the technique, and it turned out to be really fun, and I really enjoyed it, staying in shape and being strong.
There's karate sparring going on with kicking and punching, and then on the other side of Jenkins Arena, they're breaking boards and breaking cinder blocks as well as sparring over there. And then over in Winter Haven at Polk State College, we've got wrestling going on as well. So it's an action-packed day here at the Lakeland Center.
Good. The fencing part of the Sunshine State Game is an excellent tournament, and so I like to come here. There's lots of people, and a lot of, it's well run, and there's a lot of us that come because we do like it. Started when I was 15, and I am now 75, so I guess 60 years.
5 sports today here at the Lakeland Center. We've got well over 1,000 athletes competing, and we've had a Sunshine State Games Festival here in Polk County every year since 2007, from a local level to a state level, and then hopefully to a national level, and then also to an international level, with the Olympic Games being the final piece of the puzzle for a lot of these amateur athletes. Overall, we've had over 9,000 athletes competing in the 28 sports of the Sunshine State Games this year.
Sunshine State Games was a lot of fun. I'm glad I drove 7 hours from Pensacola to get here. It was good, yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Mark Jackson along with my co-host Hank Longo. Man, maybe you ought to get into weightlifting, buddy.
Boy, I'll tell you, that gal was phenomenal. She was gorgeous.
She ought to be a model
up there. Wow.
Yeah, some good stuff. What is she, 8th in the nation or something like that?
Phenomenal, phenomenal. And these little kids that are in jiu-jitsu and
judo and karate.
And the fencing, it's fantastic, these Sunshine Games.
Yeah, well, they're all Olympic sports. It's actually Florida's Olympic Sports Festival. Perfect time going into the 2012 Olympics in London. So.
Well, we want to welcome you to our second segment here on Sports Central. We want to thank the Texas Cattle Company, Grant Pichet and Company, for all that they do for us here at Sports Central.
Oh, my gosh. You know, I just happened to be enjoying a beverage the other night in an establishment, and in comes Grant, and we started talking about it. You know, they cater all over the doggone state.
Oh, I would believe so.
From Tallahassee all the way down to Miami.
Wow.
Phenomenal.
Oh,
phenomenal
great
stuff.
food. If you ever get to go to one of their events where they've catered the food, you just keep going back for more and more. It's unbelievable.
I know.
Better run that morning and run then when you get home after having that. Well, hey, one of the things that we're very popular with here in Central Florida, and that's softball.
Softball capital of the state of Florida, without question. And one of the reasons why is we have a national governing body, one of the big 4, right here in Bartow, Florida. Believe it or not, the Independent Softball Association does a phenomenal, I was going to say unbelievable, a phenomenal job. I like that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, better than fix. Yeah, fixing your elbow and all
Fixing
that.
my elbow,
phenomenal job of coordinating everything from kids 5 years old up to, well,
Seniors.
Some of them, yeah, like
seniors like you.
Yeah,
I beat him to the punch on that one. I should maybe get into the Sunshine Games. They got boxing. That's pretty quick
you
for
see, you
that
get
one
nervous.
there.
That's what happens when you say bad things about your co-host. Hey, we do have a special guest that is no stranger to Polk County's sports scene. Has been around for a long, long time in a lot of different sports. The president and CEO of the Independent Softball Association, Mr. Don Stratton. Don?
Mark, glad to be here.
It's
I'll
always a
let you know,
pleasure.
Hank, Mark has hit a home run in the ISA Directors Tournament in Daytona Beach.
Really?
Oh, yes. That's
Slugger.
the last time he batted. He went out on
He
side.
said that's good.
He said that's
That
it.
doesn't surprise me. You can hit a golf ball to the other end of the
he can.
neighborhood. So
In the
he's got
stadium,
that
Jackie
swing.
Robinson Stadium. or something.
Wow.
That's right. That's
A year or two ago, though.
So did you take the bat after that and put it aside and, get a little plate put on it? Mark Jackson hit this ball over the fence.
Well, Don, you're at the peak of the season right now for softball, and it's like softball is part of Americana. I mean, it could be one of those all-American sports, which it is. Men, women, kids, seniors, and you're responsible for all of it. A pretty daunting task, but right now there's no busier time for you guys because you have your World Series coming up in youth, and it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Look through this list, I'm going, Jiminy Christmas, do you sleep at night?
Our Youth World Series is presently going on in Crossville, Tennessee as we speak. It started last night. And then in a week we go to Columbus, Indiana for the senior tournament. And then in September we go to Columbia, South Carolina for the Adult World Series. So it's been exciting times.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's like I do know from experience that your convention, it's sort of like the Emmys or whatever, the ESPYs or whatever. We're sports, so we better say ESPYs, but the very anxious time because these communities, are waiting with bated breath, and the winner is, and then you announce a community or a facility that will host these certain tournaments. What do you look for in a facility or a community or a state even when you make these selections? Because it's millions of dollars in economic impact, has a huge impact on Polk County.
Yeah, the convention is actually just as good as getting a sporting event because you're there about a week. And we've been going all over the place. We went to Tucson. We're going to Mesquite, Nevada this year. But anyhow, we look for a place that actually wants us, that may help us grow. But we also look for a place that maybe some of our directors or a lot of them haven't been, so we can see the different parts of the United States. Ours was probably a little more relaxed than some of them, and that we use it to celebrate our past accomplishments instead of dwell on other aspects of it. We have a great time, but we have a lot of people. We went to the symposium of the National Sports Marketing things with you guys a couple, 3 years ago, and we made the error of listing this. There must be 50 people come out of the woodwork daily looking for this. You just don't know how many people are wanting to get something like this. So it's opened a lot of doors to us.
Has the senior market been a compliment? I know your sister organization under the Bill Ruth umbrella, USA Senior Softball with Terry Hennessy, they're based out of Sacramento, California. Has that, do you think, sort of added to the luster or the appeal of softball as a lifetime sport? That, hey, you can start as a kid, but you can play when you're 80.
Oh yeah, well, I don't think people realize how big softball is when you add in the senior program. You see a lot of kids play and adults play, but the senior program, I'll give you an instance. A couple years ago, we were in Phoenix, Arizona. There was 331 senior teams playing softball, and there's 320 senior teams playing baseball on the same 10-day period.
Wow.
So that's a lot of senior guys. And of course, they got a little more disposable income, so the communities really like to have them.
Well, I know when you guys bring in the senior softball tournament of champions, which is the you know,
Yeah,
creme
that's
de
the
la
pinnacle
creme
of it.
of senior softball to Polk County. I mean, these guys are out, and their wives, girlfriends, family. I mean, they're in the nice restaurants. You know, they're enjoying, you know, the nightlife here in Polk County, and I guess other places too. But they spent some dough.
Yeah, it's amazing. That thing started like a 3-day tournament, and then with some planning with you and Terry and all, they went into where they have like a mini clinic where they bring some hitters in from around the United States to help the guys. So now they're here for a week, which is great for Polk County, and it's great for the tournament because it's like this is the way to take your vacation and start the year.
That's what I was going to say. They turn this into a vacation. I mean, they know they're coming here, and if you host an event like this in a community that has things to do, you know, you can bring your wife with you, and she's got stuff that she can do during the day, or your kids. There's attractions, there's stuff that they can do, and make it not only just an event where, you know, the husband gets to go play softball for a week, but you plan it into a vacation.
Golf, shop, and eat. That's what they come for, basically.
Yeah. Well, you know, if we go to the other end of the spectrum, then with the girls' fast pitch, you know, that has grown so much, and particularly since the Title IX legislation went into effect and so on. Are you still seeing the growth in that market? Is that continuing to grow? Is it kind of stabilized, or where do you stand?
Ours, believe it or not, all three markets are growing slightly, but the two biggest ones are the seniors and the youth. Some of these people will be laid off, whatever, but they don't take away from their kids playing or spending the night. It's just amazing.
Wow.
Well, I remember one time talking to one of the, I guess it was one of your directors, but had a daughter that played, you know, girls fast pitch softball, and it was right after 9/11. It wasn't, you know, 2000, and you know, so I'm talking 11 years ago. But I asked him, because there's all these travel concerns and all of this type of stuff, I said, hey, are you still planning on coming to the World Series, which is going to be in Polk County this year? I think he lived up in Ohio or Tennessee or someplace like this. He goes, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, you know, they're clamping down on the travel. A lot of people are afraid to travel. Not sure where the economy is going to be and all this type of stuff. And he just kind of looked at me for a while, which seemed forever. And he goes, I'll tell you something. My daughter turns 12 years old once in her lifetime. This may be the only opportunity that we have, and she has, to compete in the World Series. He said, I don't care if I have to mortgage my house and ride a bike to Polk County. We will be there.
Yeah, it's amazing. We have a little girl on the Bartow High School team. In the last 5 weeks, she's been to Virginia, South Carolina, Colorado, and Atlanta. So I mean,
you're kicking people's careers off. Some of these girls.
It's amazing how.
Does anyone help pay for that, or that the parents? Or what were those events that she went to? That
they're called college showcases, and they're there to highlight the girls who may have opportunity to go to school. They have sponsorship, most of those teams, but a lot of these teams, the local ones, will plan a year ahead and start having fundraisers. You see them out in front of Publix and Walmarts and all. And what they try to do is actually get up enough money where they pay the parents' room, maybe give them a little gas. They go out as a group one time to eat. So it's a big deal, and people probably now are planning for, say, next year when our rival association comes to Polk County. People around the United States are already planning on their trip to Florida and raising money.
Well, you're one of the big four in the United States, and you know, you all are competing, but there's a real interesting kind of camaraderie in the sport of softball, though, that you don't see in a lot of different sports. As competitive as you guys are, there's also sort of a, hey, if we can grow the sport, we're all going to be made better off.
And I think it's, especially you and I in Polk County, we've always encouraged others to come when it fits in good. The more people you get interested in whatever topic or whatever business you're doing, the more chance you have as a success. So the more we feel, the more people we get to Polk County, if it's a positive experience, we'll get them back.
You have some favorite complexes here in Polk County. Do you want to say what they are, or am I putting you on the hot seat?
Probably our oldest one has probably been Auburndale. We grew from 2 old fields to Coach Wiley and them, and you guys building the new one. And then, of course, a few years ago, we built Bartow, and we probably use it to death.
Yeah.
We actually, the fields are in great conditions. We've wore out the air conditioner in the concession stand, and the city's having to buy a new one, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, you know, with all of that said, what does that, you know, I mean, you're a Bartow native, you know, and the office, the headquarters are here in Bartow, so obviously that has a lot of economic impact for the city. What has the development of that softball field meant to the city of Bartow? I mean, you're amongst the
You can go to
VIPs.
Bartow, you can go on a weekend, say to Subway, and they'll say, could you give me a schedule? I need to put other people on when the girls are in town. That and places like Beef O'Brady's and like that. Beef's, it actually carries them at times.
Yeah.
And he works with us and sponsors some different events or for different prizes and all. And of course the hotels, the stay-in and suites and the Holiday Inn, they just love it.
Yeah. And it's made a big difference on the weekends, particularly.
Especially on the slow time, you know.
Yeah.
I read an article, and actually you were quoting, the economy doesn't seem to affect amateur sports. In fact, it may actually help the growth of it for some reason.
Well, you know, I think softball too. You know, Hank. You know, Hank, of course, you know, world-class level in water skiing. But you know, you're talking a $60,000-$70,000 boat, $2,000 for jump skis, $80 for a rope, fuel, insurance, and all this type of softball. You can join a team for what, under a couple $100.
Yeah, and some of them get expensive though, where they have it there, and the equipment nowadays. These kids' bats are cost about. We spoke at a chamber function. The bats are $300 a piece for a little girl now. The gloves are about $60 to $80.
Wow.
The cleats are $40 to $50.
So,
and some of these with the uniforms, you know, they think they have to outdo the Yankees or whatever. So it's quite a.
you can take a simple sport and make it expensive.
Yeah, evidently.
Yeah.
But it's still, you know, and there's still a lot of recreational leagues out there as well, though, aren't there?
Yeah, there's a league. There's actually a softball league, a youth one, in every city in Polk County. Has it at one time or another. From where Winston Elementary is, which is one of the older fields, up to Haines City, Lake Wales, Bartow, Auburndale, Winter Haven, Lakeland has 3 of them. So every little city.
It gives these kids an opportunity to get out of the house and do something.
Well, even the adults.
And the adults, and I think it is still very affordable that if you're not on a team and you're just wanting to go out for fun.
And some of them chip in, but where else
you know,
can you go for all weekend?
Yeah.
And say you chip in $20 or $30, and some of them they'll pack their coolers, pack their sandwiches if they can't afford the concessions, and they make it a family thing. So one good thing about the youth softball in that, when you get this team, you probably get about 15 to 20 people extra.
Don, you know, softball, go back to what we talked about at the very beginning of the segment, is such a family-oriented sport that you can play from birth to grave, or whatever that saying is. And if people want to get involved themselves or their kids involved, how do they get a hold of ISA?
Yeah, they can call us at the office. Our number is 863-519-7127, or go to isasoftball.com on the internet, and we'll put them in touch with whoever.
Okay.
The one thing you notice now, you're getting more guys calling in and wanting to be officials, and I think that's probably where the sport is helping the economy, and some of these guys making their extra money and stuff.
Interesting.
Great.
Yeah, that's great news. Well, we appreciate all you've done for Polk County and the sports in Polk County, but also the economy.
Yeah, well, we've actually grown together, sports marketing and ISA. It's funny. We actually started when Mark was the sports marketing with one person.
And he was the department.
When he actually worked. You know.
Didn't have gray hair, right? See, the bad things, and he drops his paper every time now.
I didn't say anything.
Doesn't make any difference. You sit close to him.
Yeah, we've had great success together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Promoting Polk County and ourselves.
None better. We're so proud to be affiliated with ISA and all that you've done. So thank you.
Thanks, Don.
You bet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about it earlier, and that's the sport of water skiing. The U.S. team trials, and of course the Olympic Committee's governing body of the sport of water skiing is based right here in Polk County. Fluid Ski, which is an organization here out in Polk City, actually hosted the junior U.S. team trials. An exciting affair, some exciting action. Make sure you check this out, and Hank and Mark will be back right after this.
Over this weekend, we've got the U.S. team trials for the under 17 and the 17 to 21 categories. For the U.S. teams that are going to be competing in the Junior World Championships and also the Pan Am Championships. So you got the best skiers in the country, from all over the country, come here to Polk County, to Lake Grue to compete, and then the team will be selected on Sunday afternoon after the results are in.
Really love Florida. It's a great place to ski. Fluid is just a fantastic ski site. You know, they have 2 jump ramps set up for us, so no matter which way the wind's blowing, you're always set for a perfect jump. I was the Boys 3 national champion in tricks and overall last year, so that's under 18 in the trick event, and then overall is all 3 events. You know, you got to do well in all of them to do well at that, so that's really cool.
Water skiing since I was 6, grew up in it. My grandparents and parents both were in it, and so kind of went down through the generations. And I'm out here right now for team trials, is what this tournament is called. It's qualifying for Pan Am's, which is America against South America, and Junior Worlds, which is pretty much kind of our version of Olympics. Well, I love being in Florida. It's a lot warmer, obviously, than California, so it's always fun being able to come over here.
You know, here in Polk County, this is pretty much the capital of skiing in the world. You got the Water Ski Museum here, you got the ski school here. There's a lot of tournaments around this area. Probably got about 40 competitors, plus their family, friends, supporters. You got officials all come in, plus all of the committees that select the teams, plus the fans that come out and to watch the event and watch the best skiers in the country, best junior skiers in the country.
I've been to multiple pro events to open up. There was the LA Night Jam, which was pretty cool. Got to jump at night with the pros. And the Sacramento Gold Rush. Pan American Games, jumped in those, got first, which was pretty fun. 3 national titles. And I'm hoping to qualify for the U.S. World Team today. This is a pretty awesome site. I've always liked it. The museum's pretty awesome, and I've always jumped good here, so hoping to keep up the good scores. Just stick with it. It's a fun sport. Just have fun with it. Don't try and push yourself for scores. Just go out and have fun doing what you're doing.
I go to school at Florida Southern, which is just down the road. I actually train here all the time while I'm in school, so I really like this place. It's kind of like one of my home training sites. I've been doing this for 9 years, and I've been a part of so many different kind of competitions. I've been to the Worlds is the best one, nationals, states, regionals, team trials, US Open, Masters, tons. I've got to travel to different places, Australia, South America, Europe. The Worlds, we have 3 different Worlds. We have an under 21 Worlds, a Junior Worlds, and an Elite Worlds. I've skied all 3. They take place every 2 years at different places, like the places I've been to. The next one is going to be in Chile in 2013, and that's going to be the Elite Worlds.
Out here at Fluid Ski and Sports on Lake Grew, we got a lot of events. We got tournaments, about 5-6 different record tournaments during the year. The team trials is one of our biggest ones. Also the Rocketman Night Jump in October 13th. Pro event, night jump, free entry. Tons of people out here, great show, so come on out and see that one too. We have a number of other record tournaments and a ski school that runs year-round. www.skifluid.com is where you find all the information about our events, the ski school, and everything else that we've got going on.
Hey, welcome back from the world of wet to Sports Central. This is Mark Jackson. He's all wet, actually.
Yeah, all the time, all the time.
And this is my co-host, Hank Longo. Hank, people just can't appreciate how fast those jumpers are going when they hit the bottom of the ramp.
Yeah, you really want to be there watching it live to see, because these kids are hitting the ramp 50+ miles an hour, and the pros hit it at 65 miles an hour. So yeah, they're zipping right along. A fun event. Got to commentate the event all weekend, so to actually watch the skiers and how they perform all weekend and to be there, part of the history, to see who makes the world teams or the U.S. teams is really pretty neat. And we want to welcome you to our third segment of Sports Central and thank the folks at the Hyatt Place at the Lakeland Center for sponsoring our third segment.
And for those of you that just joined us, that segment, the water ski segment that is, was the USA team trials, and those are the best jumpers, trick skiers, and slalom skiers in the country and arguably the world, because they always place very, very high.
Yeah.
And thanks to Scott Ellis and Fluid Sports for hosting it and taking on. Taking on the responsibility. So we appreciate their efforts as well. And that was out at Lake Grew in Polk City.
Right by Fantasy of Flight. You can, instead of turning left to go to Fantasy of Flight, you take a right and end up at USA Water Ski and the Water Ski Hall of Fame and Museum.
Just off the interstate. In fact, you could see the cars going by, as we were watching the show, and you can get an idea how fast these jumpers
I always wonder
going.
when they have the pro jumpers out there, going 200+ feet, and you're driving down the road and all of a sudden see this guy flying through the air.
How far are they going?
The kids were, the gals were getting up to like in 115. The guys were jumping over 160 feet, which is incredible at that age, because they're all young. They're like 14, 15 years old. And then the guys were jumping in the 70s, under the 17 to 20-year-old guys.
Yeah, it's a long ways, man.
It's a long ways to go.
How the sport has changed. Well, we do have from the speed, the danger, the strength of water skiing to a more serene environment, and that's one of the compliments and one of the benefits that we have of living in Polk County. You can see world-class sports in 1 hour. You can go 15 minutes, and you can see some of the most beautiful countryside on the entire planet at Bach Tower Gardens. Pirjo, I did it right, didn't I?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Mark.
and Hank. Mark, you did that perfectly.
Thank you.
And if you are wondering, okay, she is Finnish with an Italian, Restina, Italian last name like Hank.
Yeah.
So we have, you're kind of outnumbered here.
No, you're kind of outnumbered, because you've got a couple Italians here and you.
Well, no, we've got the Norwegian, Danish, Scandinavian people here, and then Italian.
You want to keep going with this?
I think we'll leave it at that and get back to the serene. Curator of education for 26 years?
Sort of. Right now I'm semi-retired.
Semi-retired,
Yes.
and then going back to work tomorrow for your start of your 27th year. Unbelievable.
That's right.
Tell us what a curator of education does.
Oh my gosh, well, that was my job. So I did programs of all sorts for long-time learning, all, you know, for adults, children, families, and so. Plus I did all music programs. I developed the Live at the Garden Summer Music Series 11 years ago when there was nothing going on in the summertime, and now we have so multitude of wonderful things going on in Polk, including all the sports and some other things at Bachtower Gardens. It's been a fun summer there, and it will continue. And I would like to actually sport about our fall programs that we do at Bachtower Gardens.
Well, let's hear about it.
No, just tell us whatever you want to share with us.
Well, we're going to start at Bark Tower Gardens Day. With
Bark as in a dog?
Absolutely. Wow, wow, wow. It's our Man's Best Friend Day, and that's on the 8th of September, and you can bring your friend, a four-legged friend, on a leash if they're well behaved. And it's from 9 to noon. And it's a Saturday the 8th, and there will be all kinds of things. Of course, we'll have a competition, the cuties, the best behaved, the best dressed, the most look-alike, and the most talented.
When you say look-alike, do you mean like
you can bring your dog.
There we go.
And they can see how you two look so much alike. Especially the way that you wag your tails. That's probably.
Well, I just hate it when he pulls the leash on me.
We also have advice along the path over there. We have a vet advice. You can get dog boutique there and dog training advice as well. So.
Oh, really?
And it's $5 for your man's best friend, and all the other admission fees apply for the two-legged ones. Then the very following day, we have the Grandparents' Day. That was actually started by President Jimmy Carter in 1978. He signed it as a law, and it's a Grandparents' Day on Sunday, the 8th, the 9th of September. We continue. We'll have other events that September 22nd is the last of Live at the Gardens music series with Juniper. It's a folk and Appalachian tunes, Celtic, and so forth. It's a very nice fiddle and acoustic guitar, two gals. And 29th, I believe it's the Smithsonian Museum Day. So if you're a Smithsonian member, you can get in free.
Yeah, there's. I spent some time with Clara Orlagas yesterday from the Polk Museum of Art, and is doing an unbelievable job. And I know that there's going to be some announcements about the Smithsonian, and Bach Tower is going to be involved in that. It is huge for this community, and I can't say too much more than that because the official announcement hasn't been made, so I've got to be quiet.
Yes, very good. Well, it's the same thing with the Bach Tower programs. These are not yet really published, and they're going into printers and so forth, but I'm giving you the
inside scoop right here on Sports Central.
Right.
Where else are you going to get it? Yeah.
Right.
Well, Bach's so cool because, and we hear this all the time, particularly Hank. You know, people are coming out of Legoland, and, you know, it's just like, they go nuts with these kids just running like madmen and having a great time and having so much fun. They want a day of respite, you know, and just sort of respite, whatever way you like to say it. And it's a great opportunity for families to go there to see the flora, the fauna, the bell tower.
And just get outside and enjoy the beauty of nature that's on display there. It's just, it's great.
And there's always something in bloom at Bach.
Yeah.
And my grandkids love to go there. I just spent 3 hours last week with them, just walking around the gardens, looking where are the squirrels and where are the swans, which are not there anymore.
Can you still feed the squirrels there? You still allow that?
Yes, you can feed the squirrels. They have squirrel food there.
Oh, okay.
But you can't just kind of hand feed them. That's dangerous.
You talked about the Bark
Tower Gardens Day.
Bark Tower Gardens for the dogs. But you also have an event called Boktoberfest.
That's right. That's coming up in October.
You're going to do that again this year?
Absolutely. This will be our fourth Boktoberfest. It's a plant sale. It's a whole day free, extended hours from 8 to 6, and no admission fee. And there will be lots of vendors of all kinds of garden plants. Mm-hmm. There'll be workshops by Tom McCabe giving advice of gardening and whatnot. There'll be garden gadgets, all related to the gardens.
Okay.
But there'll be also beer. There'll be music. There'll be activities for children like tree climbing, etc. And we'll have the Alpine band there, 4 lederhosen men playing the Alpine. That's right. They've been there every year. And there'll be a polka contest.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You get in on the polka contest.
That's right.
Well, if you're from Wisconsin, you better know how to polka by the time you're 5, or you're a social outcast.
That has become one of the best activities that we have, best programs, because really what we are at Boktober Gardens is gardens and the music. And of course the Caroline will play also at the Boktoberfest, absolutely.
Well, Pirjo, the insight into the activities, obviously your passion and your excitement, they can come out and see you tomorrow.
That's right.
And other days throughout the course of the year. And congratulations on being there 26, and semi-retired or not, you're still out there and hitting 27. So thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. And all you do for Bok Tower is phenomenal.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
It was fun having you on the show.
Absolutely. And we'll see you again soon, we hope.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as promised at the beginning of the show, we have some interesting updates about what there is to do in addition to Bok Tower, by the way, here in Polk County. 7 special events, 7 sporting events this weekend, along with some great cultural and arts events as well. Our very own Jessica Roberts is at the Sports and Culture Update desk. That was a hard one to say. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome to the redesigned local update. I'm Jessica Roberts, here to tell you about some great upcoming events taking place across Polk County this month. The Lakeland Flying Tigers season is in full swing, and they have great promotions and events. On Monday, almost everything is $1. That includes the game ticket, hot dogs, small sodas, popcorn, and peanuts. Every Tuesday is 2-for-1 admission when you bring in a ticket coupon from the ledger. On Wednesday, pay just $10 and get a ticket and all-you-can-eat night. Thursday, you'll get $1 sodas and 2-for-1 beers. And on Sunday, all kids under 14 get in free. These great weekly promotions make going to a baseball game affordable and perfect for a family night out. Check out LakelandFlyingTigers.com for other specials and their full game schedule. Polk Museum of Art's latest exhibition has opened. Invisible Elephant features new works by Tampa area artists working individually to produce new works based on their own unique perspective in relation to the other's cultural background. Museum admission is just $5, and students with a valid ID can get in for free. The USC DKA National Taekwondo Tournament will be held at Lake Eva Banquet Hall in Haines City on July 20th and 21st. The 2-day event includes competition with weapons, extreme forms, traditional forms, and sparring. Spectators are welcome. Main Street Bartow's Friday Fest will be on July 20th. Enjoy live music, kids' activities, great food and drinks, as well as the Friday Fest car show. This is a great free family event, and it starts at 6. Also on July 20th, Haines City will host Movies in the Park at Lake Eva. Bring your lawn chairs, blankets, snacks, and the whole family for this great free community event. Pre-movie activities begin at 7. Lakeland Community Theater will present the ever-popular musical Chicago beginning July 20th. Tickets are just $20 for adults and $10 for kids. The show runs through July 29th. Theater Winter Haven will present Hairspray July 20th through August 5th. Any play nominated for 13 Tony Awards is a must-see, so get your tickets early if you want that perfect seat. Florida ISA's Men's and Women's Co-Ed Championship will be played at Lois Hart Park on Carter Road in Mulberry, July 21st and 22nd. And then on July 28th and 29th, ISA's Youth Back to School Tournament will be held at the Bartow Complex. Local residents are welcome to attend both tournaments. The Ritz Theater and Raymond Theater together will host Quicker Than the Eye on July 21st in downtown Winter Haven. Tickets are just $40 and you'll enjoy an evening of wine, dinner, and mystery. Polk's Nature Discovery Center at Circle B offers lots of free educational workshops and tours. And on July 21st, you can participate in Astronomy Night. Power telescopes will be on site, and this month's theme is star clusters and galaxies. On July 25th, you can take a personalized tour of Banana Creek Marsh and hear about plants, birds, and the history of the property. Space is limited for both, so call Circle B for your reservation. Bach Tower Gardens will host Flicks in the Gardens on July 21st. This is a great way to enjoy a summer evening with your family, and this month's movie is Miracle, just in time for the Olympics. Admission is just $5. Downtown Lakeland hosts First Friday on August 3rd, and the theme will be Back to School. Enjoy live music, lots of great restaurants, and do a little shopping. First Friday always begins at 6. Comedian Bill Bellamy will be at the historic Polk Theater on August 3rd. Tickets start at just $10 and you can pre-order them online. If you love Lakeland and want to learn more about its history, plan to attend a historic Lake Mirror tour. Tours are scheduled for the fourth Tuesday evening of each month. They last 1 hour and they're free. On July 24th, the tour will begin at 8:30. Call the Lake Mirror Rentals office to reserve your space. Well, folks, this has been a quick glance at some of the exciting events taking place across Polk County this month. For details about these events and more, go to visitcentralflorida.org and centralfloridasports.com. Until next time, I'm Jessica Roberts from Polk County's Tourism and Sports Marketing Office. I look forward to seeing you at some of these great events.
Sports Central. Hey, Jessica, thanks. Great job. You didn't stumble too many times this time. She'll get me back, though.
She'll get you back.
Absolutely.
Hey, want to thank the folks at the Ramada Inn Hotel and Conference Center in Lakeland for being the sponsor of our fourth segment here on Sports Central.
Really like what Jessica does with that, though. That's combining arts, culture, sports. You know, it's,
package
hey,
it all
here's what's going on in Polk County. So great job, Jessica. We really appreciate it. She, as much as we like to tease her, she does a phenomenal job.
Great job.
She got her degree in broadcasting, by the way. Yeah, sharp girl. And also social media. Oh, social media queen. Oh. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's, man, unbelievable amount of stuff going on here in Polk County. We're so blessed to be able to, you know, talk about not only the great sporting events, but the arts and cultural events. And many thanks to PGTV, Mayanne Nelson and her great staff, Darby. They're the ones that put in the long hours and all the effort to make all of this happen for all of the citizens of Polk County. Of course, the Board of County Commissioners supporting that, and feel it's good to get that information out in a timely fashion, and the latest and the greatest.
Yep. Well, hey, we've got some great sponsors to thank as well. Harry's Old Place, Hollywood Window Tinting and Signs, the Travel Lodge Lakeland North, Days Inn Lakeland North, and the Best Western Auburndale. I want to thank you so much. And we got PGTV on radio on Thursday nights with you and Chris. And
Sports Central, 1430 WLKF. Make sure you tune in. And you see Mike Steinmack and myself. Can't see us, but you can hear us. So make sure you have a good time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our next live show, July 27th. Same bat time, same bat channel. You can check out Hank and Mark again, the following dates and times for re-airs. But until then, this is Mark Jackson for Hank Longo and PGTV. Thanks for joining us on Sports Central. We'll see you again next time.